Good afternoon. My name is Cecilia Kultz. I'm the director of the Cleveland Browns Foundation. So we're really excited to share the digital campaign playbook with you all. This video demo is created to offer a high-level overview of what the playbook looks like, how it functions, and some of its key sections and features for those that are interested. And if you're a school district, hopefully it provides you a better idea of the steps in which we ask a school district to take to build a strategic and community-wide campaign that is rooted in best practices and data. And our network of 16 school districts has informed this platform, the best practices that you see that are embedded within it, and in our partnership with Cleveland Metropolitan School District, which we were with them for 5 years. They started their own campaign. We learned alongside them and really were inspired to take this work statewide and continue to refine and modify and build best practices with other school districts along the way that's interested in this work as well. The last thing a couple things to note before we dive in. First, the playbook is flexible. It can expand, scale back based on whether you're a large district, a small district, whether you're brand new to this idea of a campaign or you're experienced. And that the playbook is in phase one of its life cycle. So what you see is phase one. We are having our network of 16 school districts continue to use this platform, to use our campaign this year, provide us feedback, and we will make adjustments in phase two. And if you are an advisory board member or an agency or a partner in this work, and we know so many people are doing great work in this space, that this is a tool that we hope to incorporate other people's great work to embed it in here, to link to continue to go deeper into attendance. So a campaign is tier one. We won't be able to reach all students with just a campaign. So if we want to get to tier two, tier three level work, we hope that the barriers can be addressed and we can incorporate this into the platform down the road. So with that, let's get started with the tutorial. So what you're looking at right now is the digital campaign playbook platform. I'm logged in as the Cleveland Browns School District. It will be your school district name, your name if you've been invited and vetted by the Browns Foundation. And you will see the dashboard. You'll have to build your team. You can expand to see what the steps entail before you dive into each step. So you can review, continue, you can skip steps depending on if multiple people are working on this plan together. So this is communications, engagement plan, and then this is scheduling and review. So let's say we're starting from the beginning, build your team. Let's review. For time's sake, some of this has been pre-populated and started along the way. Let's see what our core team looks like. Each section will have explanation text up front. We hope to turn into a video down the road, pro tips along the way. So they are guiding them, and we say this, we hope that this platform was inspired in taking cues from a TurboTax, if you will. You click, interactive, learn, and click along the way. So I'm a campaign manager. I'm pre-assigned as an admin, so I have the most amount of rights on this platform, but I can add, let's say, Superintendent Renee Harvey. She's our champion, and I just want her to view and have access. Grace Fickling is our communications lead. She has editor access. This is where I can determine along the way. So you will continue to review. This pro tip says you can assign multiple people to the same role if you have a small team, but we want some these core folks to really be present at your core committee to really make sure this is a district-wide campaign and you have different perspectives at the table, and that's integrated into work and teams you do along the way. We don't want you to recreate a brand new team, work within teams you already have. To save and continue, the next step is going to be supporting roles. This is really as you get into more you evolve into year 2 and 3, let's add other departments to the table, whether it's nursing, early childhood, special education. You can continue to see how this work can grow and get woven into all areas of the department. And again, working smartly, especially if you have a school improvement plan and you have a focus on attendance, let's look at that plan, make sure it's embedded, make sure it's aligned. So we're not, everything is working together. And then lastly, agenda, when will you meet, what will you review, making sure that you're meeting in a consistent manner. So that's build your team, which is pretty intuitive. For understand the challenge, it's all about understanding your data and setting some goals. So if you dive in, once again, explanation text. If you're new at the table, what's the difference between attendance and chronic absenteeism? A lot of links out to ODE, Attendance Works. They have a lot of great tips and resources that we want to embed into a one-stop shop. The first couple questions are very high level of what is are your rates increasing, decreasing over time. We have a lot of state level charts you can look at, and then compare your district data. So one thing to note with our founding partners at the table, how Department of Education, Proving Ground have really done a great job building the data capacity of our districts, and so they're not starting from scratch. So a curated set of data analyses have already been sent to our partner districts, so they're simply referencing them and saying, okay, what does my district data look like compared to the state level? It will help them then fill in these questions, which start high level and get more nuanced. So this is where it gets interactive. It starts saying, okay, what grade level seems to spike? So you can see what state level trends look like. Often district trends follow state level here, but it's good to compare. And this is then reading about what are the common factors and why students miss school, which is Attendance Works, priming the user to think about the different categories in a organized way. And this is where we can say, okay, kindergarten, which I've started this plan, 9th and 11th, is where we see our district is affected. Let's start looking at primary factors as a team. Our team kind of sat together and said parents are unaware of the importance of on-time attendance. There's some housing instability going on in kindergarten. So we want the campaign to focus. How do we maybe focus on messaging about the importance? As well as 9th and 11th grade, let's focus on that. So the campaign still will reach all students, but have a slight emphasis on these different grade levels. Start telling us more, capturing your plans. Same thing, dips throughout the year. Once you see dips throughout the year, want to make sure that's where you boost your engagement and communications. Again, it's going to ask you about some subpopulations and so on. So really is going to make sure you have a thorough handle on your data. You already have some analyses ran by some of our partner districts, so building that capacity. And once you have your team and data done and reviewed, then the meat of the campaign plan comes into play, and that's our communications and engagement section. So here, you start with a rallying message. So the purpose of this is attendance is important. Staying in the game is pretty high level, but we want to support it by data. Why does attendance matter? And so we ran some pre-populated statistics at the state level, and then also a district received some curated district level statistics of impact on learning, which is all about third grade and graduation, because we felt that third grade and graduation were nice inflection points of showing whether you're an educator, student, a parent, or community member. If you miss school, it's going to impact a student's learning opportunities and success rate. So the odds of graduating on time are reduced by 6% every school day miss. That's a state level statistic. You can click on this if that's a message you want to use as your rallying message. And the point of this is you're going to consistently hammer this in all your communications. And so from there, you're going to start on your communication channels. Here you read about the different audiences I just mentioned. You got it. Now you're taking an inventory of what you already do at the district to communicate out to your different audiences, and how are you going to embed attendance into it. So I can do email, marquee digital signs, robocalls, newsletter, these informational signs. You can click on provides more details, what's the level of effort, low, medium, high, some estimation of hours of time. And then whenever possible, the power of the network is using on the ground experiences and examples. So here we have a newsletter example. You can download, review it, get inspired as a district. So you're not starting from scratch. This is Akron Public Schools. They did a really great job with their newsletter, especially last year in a remote learning environment, of keeping attendance and engagement top of mind, whether they're in person or remote learning. So you are simply saying, yes, I commit to these different communication channels, and now I'm going to move on to engagement. Engagement is all about celebrating, making this work come to life. Let's celebrate attendance. Let's recognize and reward and recruit ambassadors. Again, it's going to look similar to communications, where it's going to be interactive. Are you going to do a standalone kickoff event utilizing back to school? You will say yes or no when this takes place. You will click on the different events. I'm going to do pep rally, clap in. The one thing worth noting, we do say you need to select at least 4 events because we want this to hit all school year long, not just front load in the beginning of the year. We want to make sure it really focuses on dips of the year, and you're gaining back days and you're boosting your communications and engagement plans during those times of year. So with that, there's always summary along the way on each section, but it's saying nice work, what I've committed to. And then recruit ambassadors, we won't have time to go into, but it's saying what are your school level captains that are going to help you make this work come to life at the school level? Because right now the district is setting the plan, but it needs to be carried through at the school level ambassadors. And then also who are your community ambassadors on board? That's really where the power and the work comes to life. So let's say you have filled that all in. Now your time to schedule. And in this section, you are going to schedule your events. Here this review of what you've committed to, got it, and now it goes into a calendar. So you're going to see that, let's say our back to school event, I've placed it on August 20th. I can start an event brand new. But here I will show you just like an Outlook calendar. I've clicked on this as a back to school event. It could be a pep rally. I can provide more details. I need to work with engagement office to build this out. How will I communicate this? This is where it then ties back to your communication channels. I need to promote 4 weeks out. You save this event. And then you will notice this is where it leans into implementation. You will see that 4 weeks prior to August date, it's alerting the district that they need to start promoting the event. And so here, this is a really great plan to hopefully make sure you map out your plan on an annual calendar, make sure everyone's on board and start implementing it. You can do a list year review. So here are all the events I've committed to, or look at on the calendar, and then same thing with review. You can look by section of your review of what you've filled out, or you can simply download your PDF, and this will give you a PDF that you can print out, bring to meetings, and review. So with that, that was a very high level overview and pretty fast, but we want to make sure you at least got a sense of what this platform could do, what districts will be asked to do to complete their campaign plans. And obviously you can reach out to myself or Renee Harvey, the Vice President, if you have any questions. We appreciate your time, really appreciate your support on attendance, and thank you so much.